Oh, shit. Kinda need to make a video.
Truth, essential.
You know your tariffs are shit, right? They're fucking everything up.
I'm like a smart person.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
That explains it. Alright, it's been a minute, but I'm back. There's a lot going on last year, so I didn't shoot a lot of these videos, or any, in the second half of the year. But I'm back. I've got a bunch of books to unbox here from some great online sellers. If you've watched this before, you know I've run into problems at the border before bringing books back, mostly CGC related stuff. But now with the tariff war going on that Trump has started, there's a whole new host of issues with buying stuff from the States. Essentially, I've got a bunch of books that I bought from some online sellers, Instagram mainly. Great people, awesome sellers. I'm going to link all their info below because you guys should check them out. With the tariffs coming in, they've created a whole set of problems for us here in Canada. And Canadians not being the most loudly, outwardly patriotic people all the time, we definitely don't put up with people messing around. So with Trump introducing the tariffs, that meant my shopping in the States had to slow down. So I won't be buying comics from anybody across the border for some time. But I did want to show off these books and give these guys a proper shout out because they are good buyers. It has nothing to do with them. It's just not wanting to deal with that whole mess or contribute to the US economy in a way if I can avoid it, given the fact that Trump has started a war. So, without further ado, we are going to start off. This is Mr. Frank's Comics on Instagram. Links below. I'm going to put his info here somewhere. But check him out. Got some good prices on these. This is The Man-Thing #3. I do love the Marvel horror stuff from the 70s and into the 80s. This book's a bit dirty. He's got it at a 6 or 6.5. But cool cover. It is also the first appearance of Fool Killer. You don't know Fool Killer, kind of an interesting, cool character. Not a lot of appearances, I guess. You know, he's not regularly showing up, but a cool piece to have. And then, again, one of my favorite characters from DC. Again, underappreciated, but I think with James Gunn taking over the DC, if Superman hits and the Green Lantern hits and it takes off, if it looks like it's going in a good direction, he's got a penchant for taking out, obscure or less known characters, maybe known by comic book collectors and readers, but not by the general public, and turning them into a big deal. And I think the Demon is one of those characters that he could pull from kind of pop culture obscurity and do something real with in the movies. I think this is my third copy of the Demon #1. This one definitely needs a press, but it'll look nice with a press. It's got some creases and stuff here that I'm not going to get out. The lines are going to be cut in there, but still a pretty nice looking book. I love this cover. One of my favorite Kirby covers of all time. It's great. He says there's water damage. I think it's on the back. So we'll see if I can get that out using the Immaculate washer. I'll have to check out these staples first and see how much I trust the paper. But cheap. I think, what did I pay? $30, I think, for both the books. So $30 for Demon #1, not a bad deal. And first appearance of Fool Killer. So check him out, Mr. Franks. Awesome guy, great to deal with. He's always running deals, so check out his Instagram. So, if you watched before, you know I've had some trouble with crossing the border with my CGC books. I've had some funny run-ins with the border agents and misunderstandings about even the value of comics or whatever. I'll link those below. Those are pretty good videos. I would check them out. This is a totally different problem. Actually, when I went down this time, this was the last pickup that I did. I think this was February. I went down to pick these up. That's the last time I've crossed the border. Crossing into the US, there's almost no cars, which is odd. Usually there's a lineup of some sort, and I have a Nexus Pass, which lets me cross the border a lot quicker without any fuss. There's literally one other car in front of me crossing the border in the Nexus lane, and that was it. And the lineup to come back to Canada was huge. It stretched all the way through the border town that I entered to. So there's not a lot of Canadians right now crossing the border because of these implemented tariffs. And, you know, hopefully y'all can understand why, right? Getting pulled into a trade war unnecessarily just because somebody wants to flex and pretend that they're a tough guy, it has implications for everybody else. And one of those implications is just that I can't buy stuff across the border right now. So this was my last package. Some great stuff, some great sellers. I got a few books here. I'm sorry I don't remember the seller of these ones. But awesome books nonetheless. Invincible 15. This is just, it's a funny cover. I love this cover. And slowly building my Invincible collection. I want the early run. If I don't have all the books, I'd like to get the first 25 or 30. So adds to the collection. Funny book, great cover. Not bad shape. It's got a spine tick on it, but not bad. Finding these early Invincible books, they had a low run, and they got the color, lots of color on them. Find these in mint condition is a little bit hard to do sometimes, so I will take it with a bit of a spine tick. Not a problem. I'll press and clean it. It'll look nice, but that tick is color breaking. And then also the hood. I was looking for this book for a while. This one's in not bad shape. I'd say very fine. It's like, yeah, I'd say very fine. Cool book. And he is making his appearance in Ironheart. He was in the trailer, so awesome. I grabbed this probably back in like October, November online. It was sitting for a while. So glad to have that and add that to the collection. Now this one, I do know who this was from. This is from Nexo Comics, a series that I absolutely adore. One of the best new properties, new series that's come out in a while. And they've absolutely killed it all the way through. The first major storyline just wrapped up. And issue number 1 had a bunch of variants. I grabbed as many as I could. This was one of the ones that was outstanding for me. Radiant Black. Dope cover. Yeah, I love this. It's actually in great shape too. With all the blacks and dark colors on this, this is one that's easy to get spine ticks and look less than perfect, but this is a 9/8 candidate. Another problem, because I'm not dealing across the border, this can't go out to CGC. This would be in my pile going to CGC with a bit of a press, but I can't send it across the border. I have to wait for Fan Expo or Comic-Con here in Canada where CGC or CBCS is there, or go through the CBCS Canadian office, which is crazy slow, so I'm not going to do that. So I basically have to wait for them to come here to give them my books, because I refuse to put the money out to go across the border. So that was Nexo Comics. Check out Nexo. And here we go. This is the big boy. Alright. This one kind of hurts. I've dealt with this guy a bunch. Low Key Spec on Instagram. Check him out. Again, he's always got good deals. Some good spec books, like his name implies, some low key spec books, some under the radar books sometimes, or not the big boy books, but just good books, key books to add to your collection. Start this off. Something is Killing the Children, 25. I don't remember buying this. Maybe I did. Or he threw it in. Is it the same book? It's the same. Maybe he threw it in as a thank you. But awesome. I don't collect that. I actually have not read any of it. So that'll go up in a Facebook sale or something. But nice to have them toss in some books. All right, and then we've got Fantastic Four 347. New Fantastic Four. Dope cover. There's 2 versions of this cover. One of them is the gray faces. This one is kind of a bronzy. Always adding to my Fantastic Four. And then we've got, should be 2 books. Yeah, 2 books. The Sentry, 4 and 5. This is first cameo and full appearance of the New Century. This is the Century and the Void when they come together as one entity. So, New Century, 4 and 5. If you have not seen Thunderbolts, I recommend. Thunderbolts was great. I don't know why it's not performing at the box office, but that was a real fun movie, and I think they actually hit the Century pretty good. It's not exactly the character from the comics, but close enough that I think they actually did him justice. You know, when the MCU changes things and they do it properly, I find it hits. It works really well. There's always minor changes from the comics to the movies. There has to be. It's a different medium. You're telling the story in a different way. So I get it. They have to make some changes. And when those changes work, it really works well. For the Century and Thunderbolts, I thought it worked really well. That was a great character. The movie was a lot of fun. The best MCU movie since Endgame, maybe? I don't know. What other movies have come out since Endgame? Leave a comment below. I don't remember all the movies that have come out since then, or which one was your favorite. But I think Thunderbolts for me might be my favorite movie since Endgame. We got New Champions, number 1. This was a huge spec book for a while and has cooled off like crazy. You can see the prices up here, $5. I won't complain about that. Cool book. I have two. I have one of these and one of the variants, just adding to the collection. This one is actually real minty. Again, a 9.8 candidate, if not for the tariffs. That's the problem, right? When somebody starts a trade war unnecessarily and you create this tariff situation where even at my local comic book store, they're worried about things going across the border, coming back across the border, right? Paper supply, printing the comic books back and forth. Things cross the border between Canada and the US multiple times during production and manufacture of things, including comic books. So there is some serious worry that the cost of comic books would go up crazy, right? What's the cost of a book? Cover price for a lot of books right now in the States are $4.99, $5.99, right? Add a buck or two in Canada. It starts getting unreasonable if you then add a 25 or 30 or 50% tariff on top of that. Like, it becomes unaffordable to continue reading the swell of books that I have, right? So it does not make any sense. Oh, here we go. This is great. I think there's a few in here. Silver Surfer Rebirth. Great cover. This is Alex Malev, one of my favorite artists. He does great work, and that is such a dope cover. Again, a 9.8. This is one, you know, with the what was the other book that I had here? With the Radiant Black. I would send these off to CGC to get slabbed just because I love these covers, and they're so crisp and so nice. I would send these out, but I can't. There should be some other Silver Surfer books in here, but next we got Green Lantern. Dope cover. Star Sapphire and Sinestro Corp. Moon Knight, Sienkiewicz. This was one of the variants. It might be one of the ratios. This might be the 1 in 10 or 1 in 25. I'm not sure. But Sienkiewicz is one of my favorite Moon Knight artists, or maybe my favorite Moon Knight artist. Him and E.M. Gist always kill it. So I will always add Moon Knight stuff and Moon Knight Sienkiewicz stuff to my my pile, my collection. Iron Fist, number 3. Nothing key about this book, but just has a sick cover. This looks like those old kung fu movies. The art on here is great. Super sick. Moon Knight again. Greg Capullo cover. This blank. This was a ratio. I don't remember what it is. 1 in 25, I think. Dope, dope, dope. Oh, The Cat. Key book. The Cat, number 1. Like the early horror stuff. Some of this early stuff, especially the characters that cross over with Moon Knight pretty regularly. The Cat and Tigra. Had to pick this up. It's not a 9.8, but it is a pretty nice book. I'd say with a good clean, this is probably a 7. Happy to pick that up. Add that to the collection. I was looking for that for a while. Here we go. Back to Moon Knight. Pretty dope homage cover. Variant cover. Alright, so last two. These last two are the other Surfer books, I believe. So we've got Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy, Del Auto variant, I believe. I love how the artists that do painting and lifelike figures, I love how they do the Surfer. Especially with the background of space. It always looks super sick. Today I picked up, this shows you how long it's been since I grabbed these. Like I said, I grabbed these across the border in February, maybe early March, but probably February. And today I picked up Death of the Silver Surfer 1 with all the variants and the 1:10, 1:25 ratio. So I'm excited to read that. And last book in the pile, Silver Surfer Black. Oh yeah, number 1. Again, another Del Auto variant. He does Surfer so sick. That's so dope. Look at those covers. Beautiful. Beautiful work. So there you go. There's my last haul from the US. So this time I did not get snagged by the border agents, but a much bigger problem that I just can't buy stuff across anymore, which is too bad. Like I said, this was low-key spec with this big bundle. Check him out online. I want to buy from these guys more, but I can't do that while there's a trade war happening, and you know, the president is trying to bully Canada. I know currently he's trying to bully everybody, but as a Canadian, I just can't put my money into that economy. It's not just comics, but I've cut Google and Netflix and Disney Plus and like any of the services that I was buying from the US and US companies. I quit using Google. I stopped paying for Dropbox and Google Drive, and I've got my storage elsewhere. It costs. There's a cost to starting these unnecessary wars, and it trickles down to us regular people. So it is what it is. Leave a comment below. Let me know. I do have a review coming next. That will be for Protective Case, Comic Skins, Gator Guard, one of them. I forget. Watch out for that, and there will be a giveaway associated with that one, so follow that. If you want to see those other videos of me getting hung up at the border, check them out here. Those are better stories getting hung up at the border rather than just being bullied by a dummy in a suit.